This video is to show you our defensive setup. It is going to be a 2-1-2 defense that we're going to play most of the season. And here's shown up as we are the red X players right here. So we are set up in a 2-1-2, and the other team is bringing down the court, bringing the ball down the court, showing us that blue arrow. This defense, you must be set up behind the half-court line, shown here by the yellow arrow. This defense does not work if you start putting pressure above the above the half-court line. So you have to wait for the other team to cross half-court before we start actually putting pressure on the other team. So you can see the top two players are responsible for that shaded area, anywhere from the left to the right. The middle player is responsible for this shaded area. Obviously, this player has to run a lot more and with less help than the top two or the bottom two players. The last two players are responsible for this shaded area, and they're responsible basically for the bottom third of this half-court setup. Players 4 and 5 should not get too far out into the three-point line, because then it will leave an area behind them open for an easy basket. So this is a very complicated defense, but if we all work together, we should be able to put a lot of pressure on the other team. Here we're shown as, again, the red X, and the other team is in blue circles, and they're bringing the ball down the court. Here we're again set up in the 2-1-2, and we must defend again once the other team passes the half-court line. So this is a half-court drawing, and again we are the red X. So as soon as the other team crosses half-court, the top two players must put as much pressure as they can to try to steal the ball, or at least intercept any passes coming from whoever is handling the ball on the other team. So you must put a lot of pressure and try to take the ball away. Player 3 is going to react to whoever side is being passed to. So in this instance, it's passed to their left. So player 3 slides over to the left and gets in front of the the other team's player that has the ball now. And you always want to play defense when you are set up between the ball and the basket. You don't want to be caught in a bad position, because like this they have to go through you in order to go score a basket. So you always have to play between the ball and the basket, as shown by this shaded area here. So if the ball is passed to the left side of player 3 on defense, player 1 must shift down and try to help putting pressure on the ball handler now. Player 2 will slide down to block out all passing lanes, and player 4 will slide up and in a little bit. In other words, everybody's trying to block out the whole middle part for any passes, and we can intercept it. So if the ball is being passed down even further down to their player number 4, which is shown in yellow, then player 5 must slide out, player 3 must slide down, and they must all put pressure. As you can see, player 1 will cover a lot lower, player 2 will block out that other area, and player 4 will slide in a little bit more. So again, we are all sliding and moving and trying to protect all passing lanes. Player 5, which is the one that's playing on the bottom third of this court, should always be between the ball and the basket. That way, the offensive player has to have a harder time either going through or shooting over or passing over. So the same example going the other way. If they bring down the ball, once they pass half court, the top two players on defense will put pressure on the ball. We have to try to steal the ball at that instance, or put as much pressure to create turnovers. So if the other players are set up in their offense, as you can see, players 1 and 2 on defense are putting a lot of pressure. If the ball's passed to their number 3 player, which is shown in yellow, then our 3 player, which is shown as a red X, is going to slide over and get between the ball and the basket. So you can see here, you always want to be between the ball and the basket. You don't want to get caught on another side where they have an easy access to the basket. So player 2 and player 3 will now put pressure on the ball handler, and everybody else slides over in order to prevent any passes or any of the other players to come down the middle. Again, if the ball is passed even lower to their number 5 player shown in yellow, our number 4 player shown in red X will slide over and cover that player. And again, you will set up between the ball and the basket. So player 3 and 4 will put pressure and try to steal the ball, and everybody else slides over trying to block all passing lanes and obviously try to steal the ball if the pass is going down the middle. So here again it's shown as in player 4, playing between the ball and the basket. You don't want to get caught up too high or too low where they have an easy access to drive in and just shoot an easy basket.